This is the Biola Housing Selection video guide on how to complete the application for housing selection. This is only for current students, so there's a different process for new fall semester students. To apply for housing, you'll first need to go to biola.edu/housing and select My Housing and Dining, otherwise called Housing Self-Service, from the toolbar. On the login page, you will need to enter your Biola NetID and password to access your personalized housing and dining homepage. On the top menu, click Application, then select the Continuing Student Housing Application from the drop-down menu. If you can't see this application in the menu, you most likely need to pay the $250 housing deposit. You can call or email us to find out if you need to pay the deposit. If you do need to pay it, go to the website login.biola.edu/payments. In the toolbar, click on Deposits and then select the undergraduate housing deposit. If you're still having trouble viewing the application, come by our office or call us. The housing contract is for both semesters and reiterates the policies in the housing handbook. Even though you agreed to the contract on this page, technically the contract goes into effect once you or your matched roommate select a room or apartment. We don't want you to be surprised by the terms of this contract, so make sure you take a look at the housing handbook on the website. For example, if you're 19 years or younger, born after September 4th, 1998, you're required to live in housing unless you're living at home. At the bottom of the page, sign your name in the space provided and select Continue. If you happen to be younger than 18 years old when signing this contract, you need to have a parent or guardian sign the contract. Since they can't do that online, a PDF copy of the contract will be attached with your confirmation email. The next page is to reiterate important housing policies as well as preferences, like your bedtime. You can tell us if you need help finding a roommate, if you're interested in living in a designated single room in Blackstone or Sigma, or if you have a special housing accommodation you wish to renew. And since you may have agreed to the online contract without actually reading it, which honestly we all do, we'll have you initial that you understand some of our specific housing policies. For those of you who are trying for an apartment, make sure you answer yes to question 2N that asks if you want to be included in the apartments raffle. That step is critical. You'll need to fill out the emergency contact information of a parent or guardian. This one's a little tricky, so you'll want to fill out the first emergency contact information and then click Save this contact before you fill out the next contact on the same page. When you're finished saving each contact one at a time, you can press Continue at the bottom of the page. The Clery Confidential Contact is required for students under 18 years old, but we recommend you fill it out anyway. The idea can seem a little intimidating, but it's simply meant to serve as a helpful tool to campus safety and law enforcement in the rare occurrence you might be considered missing. You can use the same person you did for your emergency contact or add someone that's different. It's up to you. When you're done, remember to click Save this contact, and at the bottom of the page, press Continue. If you're going to live in a residence hall, make sure you select at least 10 meals per week for your meal plan. Meal plans are optional in the Biola apartments, so feel free to select a meal plan only if you want one. If you change your mind later on, you can adjust your meal plan on the home page. Once you finish the meal plan page, your application is complete. We recommend you read the details on the thank you page or on your application confirmation email. They're meant to be a helpful guide for your next steps in housing selection. The application deadline for the apartments is March 8th, and for the residence halls is March 20th. If you apply late, then you can go ahead and do so on March 27th. And again, if you're under 18 years old, make sure your parent or guardian sends in their signed version of the contract. Remember that the contract is binding after a room or apartment selected for you, and that the contract is for both semesters, not just the fall semester. Feel free to contact us if you need help. We'll be happy to assist you however we can. And if you want to learn how to roommate match in My Housing, we recommend you watch the next video, located in our YouTube playlist or on our housing website.